commit that you will not take any
Biden administration, Ms. Chairwoman, the Biden administration politicizes science, and I just gave you 3 of thousands of examples of how they did that.
Excuse me, sir. I asked you a simple question. Will you commit to not taking retaliatory action against the NIH scientists that signed the letter about the research dollars? Yes
I don't know anything about that letter.
You don't know about the letter?
No, I don't know anything about that letter. This is the first I've heard of it.
We already put that, our question in the record. I'd like a response. Now, in my last few minutes, in our letters dated February 28th, April 1st, and May 28th, to which you did not respond, we have some questions about reductions in force. How many HHS employees received?
When Representative Diana DeGette of Colorado pressed Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on unanswered letters, halted research funding, and allegations of political interference at the National Institutes of Health, before we get into what happened and why it matters, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. These hearings shape the future of medical research and public health, and subscribing helps you stay informed beyond the sound bites.
I'm going to yield back and recognize the gentlelady from Colorado, Ranking Member DeGette, for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, members of this subcommittee sent you letters seeking information on February 13th, February 28th, March 13th, March 20th, March 25th, April 1st, April 3rd, April 9th, April 10th, April 11th, April 28th, April 29th, May 28th, June 10th, June 11th, June 17th, June 22nd, and June 23rd. To which we have received no response from your agency whatsoever. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter these into the record, please.
Without objection.
Thank you. On June 16th, a federal judge ruled a large swath of NIH grant terminations illegal and void and vacated them, requiring that the grants resume. These grants deal with science that is disfavored by this administration, as we just heard from the witness. Judge William Young, a Reagan appointee, said that the administration's explanations for terminating the grants were, quote, bereft of reasoning virtually in their entirety, end quote. He added, quote, I've sat on this bench now for 40 years, and I've never seen government racial discrimination like this, end quote. Mr. Secretary, I have a yes or no question. Does the department intend to comply with Judge Young's ruling? Yes or no?
I will comply with
yes
the
or
law.
No, sir?
I'll comply with the law.
Thank you. As reported, in your opening statement, Mr. Secretary, you said that you're committed to reducing bureaucracy. But as reported in the Washington Post on April 17, 2025, HHS imposed a new layer of bureaucratic review by which every disbursement has to go through political appointments at HHS. Hospitals, universities, and community health organizations have told me and the other members lately that funds are stuck at HHS due to this so-called Defend the Spend initiative. I asked you about this in the April 23rd letter over 2 months ago, to which you have not responded, and I'd like some answers. Yes or no? Did HHS conduct a cost-benefit analysis on the Defend the Spend procedures?
I don't know anything about that Washington Post article.
In letters, you don't know whether you did a cost-benefit analysis, right?
I don't know. I know that. I don't know anything about that Washington Post article.
No, do you know anything about the Defend the Spend initiative?
About what?
The Defend the Spend initiative that your agency has. You don't know about it. Mr. Chairman, I have an article here dated April 17, 2025 about the Defend the Spend initiative. I'd like unanimous consent to enter it into
without objection.
Now, in Mr. Secretary, on June 9th, hundreds of NIH scientists sounded the alarm on how this administration has wasted millions of research dollars, injected politics into science, and damaged the public trust. 68 Nobel laureates signed this letter. On June 10th, we sent you a letter. Of course, we haven't gotten a response with our concerns that you or your staff might retaliate against them for telling the truth. So here's my question. Will you commit today that neither you or anyone else at HHS will take any retaliatory action against the brave scientists that work at NIH? This should be an easy answer because it's illegal.
I can commit that we are absolutely depoliticizing science.
Will you commit that you will not take any
Biden administration,
Ms.
Chairwoman, the Biden administration politicizes science, and I just gave you 3 of thousands of examples of how they did that.
Excuse me, sir. I asked you a simple question. Will you commit to not taking retaliatory action against the NIH scientists that signed the letter about the research dollars? Yes,
I don't know anything about that letter.
You don't know about the letter?
No,
okay.
I don't know anything about that letter. This is the first
we'll
I've
put
heard
that.
of it.
We already put that, our question in the record. I'd like a response. Now, in my last few minutes, in our letters dated February 28th, April 1st, and May 28th, to which you did not respond, we have some questions about reductions in force. How many HHS employees received RIF notices since you were sworn in?
I think around 10,000.
10,000. Did you personally approve those layoff decisions?
Of each one, I approved of the policy.
Thank you. You approved the policy. Your NIH director, Jay Bhattacharya, told employees, quote, "I actually don't have any transparency into how those decisions were made, and I was quite upset about that. It would have been nice to have some say." I guess I'll follow up with more written questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The gentlelady yields.
DeGette opened her questioning with a striking timeline. She listed nearly 20 separate letters sent by members of the subcommittee to the Department of Health and Human Services over the course of several months. According to DeGette, none of those letters received a response. That lack of communication framed everything that followed. She then turned to a major federal court ruling that had landed just days earlier. A judge ordered the reinstatement of a broad set of NIH research grants that had been terminated by the department. The judge, a Reagan-appointed jurist with 4 decades on the bench, described the administration's explanations for canceling the grants as virtually devoid of reasoning and went further, stating he had never seen government racial discrimination like it. This was not rhetoric from a political opponent, DeGette emphasized, but language from a federal judge. Her first question to Kennedy was deliberately narrow. Would the department comply with the ruling? Kennedy answered that he would comply with the law. DeGette pressed him to say yes or no, underscoring a recurring theme of the hearing. Lawmakers wanted clear answers, not general statements. If you want coverage that explains why court rulings like this matter for science and medicine, make sure you subscribe. DeGette then challenged Kennedy on what she described as a contradiction between his public statements and his department's actions. Kennedy has repeatedly said he wants to reduce bureaucracy, yet according to reporting, HHS imposed a new layer of political review on nearly every funding disbursement, a process critics say has stalled money meant for hospitals, universities, and community health organizations. This initiative, known internally as Defend the Spend, has reportedly slowed funding across the system. DeGette asked a simple yes or no question. Did HHS conduct a cost-benefit analysis before implementing this policy? Kennedy said he did not know. The exchange then shifted to one of the most serious accusations raised during the hearing. DeGette cited a letter signed by hundreds of NIH scientists, including dozens of Nobel laureates, warning that political interference was undermining research, wasting taxpayer dollars, and eroding public trust. The scientists also raised fears of retaliation. DeGette asked Kennedy to commit on the record that neither he nor anyone at HHS would retaliate against NIH scientists for speaking out. She noted that retaliation would be illegal and should be an easy commitment to make. Kennedy did not give a direct answer. Instead, he pivoted to criticizing the prior administration, arguing that science had been politicized before he took office. DeGette cut back in. She reminded him that she was asking about retaliation now, not the past. She pressed again, saying plainly, "I asked you a simple question." Kennedy responded that he was not aware of the letter. For critics, that moment crystallized the broader concern. When a cabinet secretary says he does not know about a letter signed by dozens of Nobel Prize winners at the agency he oversees, it raises questions of management, transparency, and accountability. If you want deeper explanations of why these moments matter beyond the viral clip, hit subscribe. In her final line of questioning, DeGette turned to staffing cuts at HHS. She asked how many employees had received reduction in force notices since Kennedy took office. Kennedy estimated around 10,000. She then asked whether he personally approved those layoffs. Kennedy said he approved the policy, though not individual decisions. DeGette closed by citing comments from the NIH director, who reportedly said he had little visibility into how those layoff decisions were made and wished he had more input. For DeGette, that highlighted what she sees as a pattern: sweeping changes made without transparency, consultation, or clear accountability. As her time expired, DeGette said she would follow up with additional written questions, a familiar refrain in a hearing defined by unanswered letters. Subscribe to the channel for continued coverage as lawmakers push for answers on the future of medical research, public health funding, and the independence of American science.